Good evening. My name is Randy Adkins, and I'm the host of Sports Sound Off, and welcome to this weekly conversation. We're talking about local sports, and tonight's guest, Charley Hanna. Good to have you.
Thanks, Randy. It's good to be here.
You know, it's always great to talk to somebody who is a legend in this area, and you know, your family certainly. You know, we talk about football dynasties and football legacies. I mean, the name Hanna. I was talking to a guy earlier today. Said, "Who's going to be your guest?" I said Charley Hanna. And this particular guy's from Boston. He said, "Is he related to John Hanna?" I said, "Yeah, he's his brother." And he said, "Oh wow, that's really cool." I said, "Well, you know, he played like his brother did." And he said, "Really?" I said, "So you know, not everybody who's from Tampa would recognize your first name, but your last name definitely." So
I wish I could have played like him.
Well, you did your part.
Well,
you did your part. That's for sure.
He was special. He was special.
Yeah, but well, let's talk about your career. You know, I mean, everybody remembers the fact that you're an Alabama legacy, and in fact, you talk about certain things, and I think Alabama football, there's certain names that come to mind. Yours is one of them. But as we were talking about beforehand, you weren't born in Alabama. You were born in Georgia.
Oh yeah, North Georgia.
And they still let you play football in Tuscaloosa, right?
Well, my father had played there, so it was kind of a natural sway. I came close to going to Tennessee. Bill Battle was up there at the time, but you know, I guess maybe not close, but closer than anywhere else that I decided on. And I look back and think, geez, maybe I should have explored some of the options because, you know, military academies, and I was a pretty good student, believe it or not. That's why they had to take me from defensive line to offensive line. They couldn't waste the brain power on the defensive line, and that's how they convinced me to move anyway.
They told you you were too smart a guy to have
to be on defense is a waste, and so that whole transition. Now I've forgotten where we got there. We started talking about the brain power, but
But no, your dad played there. Your brother played there. You had to play there.
I had a chance to go to Ivy League schools and stuff like that, and you know, they don't quote give scholarships, but
no, they don't quote.
There's ways that they give scholarships.
Now, I heard that there was a point in your career at Alabama where you weren't performing as well as maybe you could have been, and
there was a lot of points.
A lot of points where Coach Bryant said a few words to you about your performance. I mean, is that?
Oh, I think that wasn't about performance. My little brother was an offensive lineman.
Okay.
And he'd broken his shoulder before his sophomore season, which was my senior year. So he got redshirted, and after his shoulder healed, he was on the scout team who did the plays for the opposing team every week and going against me. And we got in a fight at practice. And Coach Bryant called me.
Brotherly love, huh?
So that's what I got called in for.
Oh, okay.
He let all those times when I didn't play well slide and let the assistant coach handle that. But when I was fighting it was, you know, when we fought, it was special.
I'll bet. I mean, a long history of fighting with your brother, right?
Yeah, but you know, you could do anything except hit in the face.
Right.
So you don't punch in the face, but
hey, there are a lot of things you can do and cause some damage, right?
And we tried to find most of them.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But we all look uninjured from the neck up.
You're doing all right.
No parental proof, you know.
That's right. Tell you what, it looks like we already have a call coming in. I'm going to take this call. Go ahead, caller. Yes, we don't. For those that do want to call in and join this conversation, you can find us in the studio at 254-7820, or you can drop us an email. I've got the laptop right here at sportssoundoff@aol.com. I'm going to continue seeing if we can walk through your career a little bit. Knowing that your dad had played at Alabama, you know, you have this legacy of being there. Is there any additional weight on your shoulders when you walk on the campus?
I think there were always expectations to live up to my brother, and it was not possible. Right. Not from my parents, but from other people. Right. I think the bigger impact was that I had a lot of people that had gone through A club initiations and had served their up-and-comings under the supervision of John, and they couldn't wait to take out their frustrations on me when I went through some of those things.
So you took a few extra beatings.
I took more than a few extra beatings because of it, and
right.
so, but it's been great to be part of a family. I think it's added to some of the attention we've gotten over the years, and maybe awards, and certainly been a common bond for my brothers and I. And so it's really great to in the legacy of the. And my uncle played there as well. My father's brother played there.
Now,
he was on the first team with Coach Bryant.
Oh, and heck, that team had to have had some special things going on, because coming from A&M, you know, he had to.
It wasn't as bad as the going out into the desert with A&M, but
okay,
it was brutal.
Okay, that's what I was thinking about. Let's got a caller coming in. Caller, go ahead. You're on Sports Sound Off.
Hey, Randy. Hey, Randy, I'm a big college football fan.
Okay, go ahead, caller.
What did you think of the Boise State loss in overtime against Nevada?
Wow, good question. Well, what'd you think of it?
I was glad to see it. I wish they'd quit talking about this. When I was playing, believe it or not, the team that was in that Boise TCU position was Penn State.
You're right.
Trying to get enough of a schedule built up to where they could do the performance over the year that would give them a shot at a national championship game, and couldn't do it. And I think Coach Bryant helped Paterno get there.
Finally got it.
Mainly because Osborne decided to lock Alabama out of a chance to win a national championship, and I believe that was 1975. When we had one loss and wanted to play for the national champion, and they chose to play another one-loss team, and then wanted their runner-up to play us in the major bowl, and they went to a minor bowl. I believe at the time it was the minor bowl called the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, at that time.
But when you said this is a legend family, it's kind of like calling me old, and now I'm confirming it. But
not really.
Fiesta Bowl was a startup.
It
was nothing.
There were four big. There were Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl. Those are
Liberty Bowl was a much bigger bowl. Cotton Bowl was a much bigger bowl.
Absolutely.
And then of course the sugar and
and the Rose Bowl and the orange. But those were the big ones. Yeah.
Absolutely. Notre Dame wouldn't even go to a game in those days.
That's true.
Would not play in a bowl.
That's true. They wouldn't play. I mean, they didn't want to waste their time on it, and that says a lot. Now, we were talking before we opened the show about some of the coaches that you played for. Bear Bryant, obviously, but Coach McKay here.
Yes.
Al Davis with the Raiders.
He wasn't. You're right, Coach Al Davis.
He was the coach. I mean, and that's always
he was
been
controlling.
And that's always been the joke about the Raiders is you get to the and his big line, just win, baby.
Absolutely.
That was the thing. He didn't care what guys did off the field, and there was.
Oh, he was an eccentric. He was crazy.
Yeah.
But he was a great guy and a wonderful to talk to. I think he mistreated Marcus Allen a little bit. You hear me, Al? You hear me, Al? I don't know if you're tuned in tonight or not.
There you go.
But he was. It was a lot of fun, but his mannerisms of things. He wanted to intimidate all the time, and so when we would go out to practice, no matter which way the wind was blowing from, he would come out and watch practice, but we'd never get there at the beginning. He'd come out sometime during practice and slip around, but he'd stand upwind because he wore a gallon of Polo cologne. And then so all of a sudden you go, and you'd sniff and you'd start looking for him, and he loved it. He loved it. He loved that people would say, "Oh, he's there,"
Well, and when Madden was the coach, I mean, for me anyway, you got that sense that there was a little bit of balance. And John Madden, I really.
I got there after Madden. I was with Flores, and then a year of Shanahan.
Right, and Flores, I mean, you kind of. Watching Flores on the sideline was like, oh, he's not coaching the team. Davis is coaching the team. That was the feeling I got.
Well, you know what? That's not the case. Flores,
glad to hear
Flores coached, and there was always influences from Al, and sometimes he would try to take too much, but and you could tell when the coaches were feeling it from him.
Right.
But he did a good job of deflecting a lot of that. Right. I think he